Hellverine issue number 2 from Marvel Comics. So, a super quick recap. There is this demon called Bagra Ghul, and Bagra Ghul was in the Ghost Rider Wolverine event that happened either earlier this year or last year. I covered that on this channel, so you can try to track those videos down. But basically, there's this demon, and it goes around and kills people and turns them into this like grotesque gory pillars. It basically creates art out of corpses. It's kind of cool. And in the event, eventually it was possessing this boy, and eventually they were able to transfer the power to Wolverine. So they exorcised it from the boy, but they had to put it into someone, so they put it into Wolverine. Wolverine became Hellverine for like one issue. Ghost Rider stopped him, and then banished the Bagra Ghul into this stone. But in the last issue, Bagra Ghul escapes, and it goes into Akihiro, who is Logan's kid, who's dead, but Bagra Ghul is able to stitch him back together and infects him. And because Bagra Ghul has a little bit of the Hellfire power within him, it turns Akihiro into Hellverine. Hellverine's going around murdering sinners. And in the meantime, there's this general named General Harms, and he works for Project Hellfire, and he has basically dug up the bodies of these soldiers that were like really tough and badass, but they were killed on a mission. And so he digs up their corpses and infuses them with Hellfire power, and they become demonic, and the government loses control over them and start causing chaos. The government hires Logan to get involved and stop the destroyers, which are the names of the soldiers. And that's basically just a super quick recap. And so we start off this issue with a flashback where Sabretooth fights Akihiro, absolutely destroys him, like just brutalizes him, murders him, cuts him up into a bunch of different pieces. Logan finds the body parts and then buries his son in a grave. And that's when Bagra Ghul hits the grave and stitches Akihiro together and turns him into Hellverine. And so in the Pentangle, which is basically this secret underground base beneath the Pentagon, we see Dr. Harms and Logan. And Dr. Harms is basically explaining like what happened, who are these soldiers and things. Logan's absolutely pissed off because he's like, you guys are basically just like the grave robber versions of Weapon X. You're doing the same thing that was done to me. But now you're doing it on corpses, on soldiers, who you should have respected them by letting them remain dead. But Dr. Harms is like, no, they're powerful weapons, so we got to use them. So Logan gets pissed off. He spits on the general's foot. I bring this up because it's going to play a part later on. And basically demands the general hand over all the papers and files that he has on the destroyers so that he can track them down. And so Logan disappears. And that's when Dr. Harms goes to a hellhound and basically says, we got to keep an eye on Logan. And so he allows the hellhound to sniff his foot and lick the spit that Logan had put on his shoe so that it can track down Logan. And I'm just like, all right, this is a really stupid idea. Leave it to the government to come up with a problem that screws everybody over and then try to come up with a solution that just makes everything worse. So, yeah, we get some stuff that I'm going to be skipping over. We basically see like Akihiro doing his Hellverine stuff where he basically goes around and then he sniffs out sinners and he stops them. Or rather than stopping them by just stopping them, he kills them. So there's like one scene where we have this guy who's lost his marbles and he has bombs strapped to him. And he's going to blow up a bus full of people. So Hellverine basically rides his motorcycle through the bus, grabbing the guy in the process, and then causing the explosion on the outskirts of the town. So yeah, we find out that the Madam Secretary is involved in this Hellfire project, which makes sense because government is very incestuous and things. And then we get a moment where one of the destroyers arrives to his house where his wife believes that he's dead. Well, he is technically dead, but he like basically is trying to grab his daughter, but his daughter's freaking out and saying that daddy's hurting me. So that's when Logan shows up and lops off his head and basically starts fighting the headless corpse of this destroyer guy. And then I guess I can just keep going. Usually I don't like to spoil everything, but I feel like I didn't really talk too much about this. Let's just say that the rest of the destroyers are realizing that they can't go back to their family, that the government has basically taken things away from them. In the sense that they can't go back because they're dead, and now they're just demonic corpses, and they can no longer have the old life that they want. And so now they want revenge on the government for bringing them back instead of letting them rest in peace. And yeah, everything that the government's trying to do just keeps getting worse and worse, and they're just making the situation even more terrible. It would be a lot better if they just stopped getting involved, because they're just making everything worse for Logan and just making things harder for him. But that's basically the gist of the story. Bagra Ghul infected Logan's dead son and turned him into Hellverine. The government was stupid and took corpses and started infecting them with demonic hellfire power, trying to make super soldiers, and they can just never learn their lesson that there are things they shouldn't be messing with. And it backfired, like we all assumed it would. And now they're trying to fix the problem, but their solution to fixing the problem is just making things worse. And that's basically this series in a nutshell. So there you go. There's Hellverine issue number 2. I like this issue. Would I say it's better than the first one? Maybe a little bit. It's interesting. Like, I mean, here's a series called Hellverine. It sounds stupid, and I was not expecting much out of this, but it's surprisingly entertaining. It's not like super deep or anything like that. It's just good, dumb fun. It's basically a popcorn flick in comic book form. So I'm totally on board for that. Like, I love that kind of stuff. It's schlocky, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Artwork. You know what? Artwork's pretty good. It's fine. Like, it's basically... Is it the same artist that does all the other Ghost Rider stuff? Because it looks exactly the same as, like, the other Ghost Rider stuff that I've been reading. Like, it looks kind of similar to the last Ghost Rider volume, as well as the Ghost Rider Final Vengeance. So maybe it's the same artist. It is the same writer. It's Benjamin Percy that's doing this. That seems to kind of be his thing now. He just, anytime there's anything Ghost Rider related, we give it to Benjamin Percy. He takes care of all the Ghost Rider stuff, which is actually not that bad of a job. Like, if I was working for Marvel, that's the kind of job I would want. Because Ghost Rider is freaking awesome. Either that or Spider-Man or Punisher. Though I don't think they would enjoy me being on Punisher, because I'd go in a complete different direction that they're going now with Punisher. I'll bring back his old logo, make him go around murdering a bunch of gangsters and mafiosos and stuff like that. I'd be really just, yeah, old school Punisher. That's what we need. I'm kind of rambling, but yeah, it's basically, if you're a fan of Benjamin Percy's Ghost Rider stuff, then check this out. If you don't care for his stuff, then don't read this, obviously. But yeah, this was fine. Like, I enjoyed it. I would give it, like, I don't know, maybe like a 6 out of 10 or something. It was good. It wasn't great or anything like that, but I found it entertaining. So there's Hellverine issue number 2. Hope you enjoyed, and hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I still want to thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next one is more to your liking. With that said, thank you once again, and I hope you guys and gals have a good one. Later.